Okay, guys, let's talk about Trial of the Constellations. So, I got a complete guide on how to do Perdition. I want to show you guys how to do as free to play as possible all of these stages on Nightmare. Because there's something you need to realize. If you've been living under a rock, you haven't figured this out yet, Nightmare and Perdition give the exact same rewards. There's zero reason to ever do Perdition, except right here is this little battle pass. And it gives you a total of 500 plus the final completion, 750 extra currency. No extra gear, nothing wild. If you miss out on it, you miss out on 750 currency, which, don't get me wrong, 750 currency is really, really nice, but it's just currency to spend in the currency shop, and that's it. Also, you can only complete this battle pass once every 6 months. So you have got until February to bang this out. So I recommend don't sweat it. Just do Nightmare, and I'll show you how. And if you want to take a stab at Perdition, I've got a video. I'll link it in the description so you guys can go check out Perdition, see if it's something you want to do. In the meantime, just do Nightmare. You get the exact same rewards. It's the exact same loot table. It's the exact same drop rate. It's the exact same quality gear. So all you got to do is Nightmare. And this is how you do it. First things first, you want to set up your Blessings of the Stars. Okay, this is not quite right. Okay, so you want to make sure that you have the first thing uncovered in each constellation. Notice my Libra has got 1 star, and that's because I got 1 unit in Libra and it has exposed the first one. Everybody gets the first one for free. You want to do this with Leo through Libra. All 4 of these, you want to have the first one exposed. So I'm going to go ahead and put a unit here. Now, you notice I put Maid in. It doesn't quite give me enough. 772 points. I look at this. I need 800. I'm damn close. Okay. So we're going to take a look at Maid and see what's going on. She doesn't have an artifact. The way it calculates the points is literally simply as this. The quality of the artifact, the quality of the gear, and the star level and awakening of the unit. So anybody who is 6-star, max awakened, works the same. It could be a 3-star hero without any Molagora. As long as it is 6-star, max awakened, it will count the same as an ML5. So you notice she was at 772. I got to find any plus 30 artifact. Any. I'll just use this one. Any plus 30 artifact. Now when I put her in, bang, 800 points. Just the artifact alone got her there. 832 points. If I go back into Maid, say I was still a little bit short, you go into Manage Equipment and you sort by equipment score. So it shows your highest equipment score gear first. Incredibly high gear score piece. I don't even have that speed set anymore. Overall, my stats got significantly worse, but the gear score went up, right? What's important to the game for calculating this BS is that the average gear score of the equipment went up. Now that I put that in, Maid went up from 832 to 852. I got 20 extra points just from that piece of gear change. So that's how you can min-max this and get this to, give you higher scores on all of these pieces. But bottom line is, you just do the first one on all of these. Let me really quickly reverse that process. God love this system. Put this back, revert that. There we go. Okay. And Aries, we just need to put somebody in there. Shu knocked it out of the park. Okay, so this is what you want your Zodiac to look like. If this isn't what your Zodiac looks like, consider resetting it. Okay, consider resetting it and building it proper. You can click on this button, and for 100 Sky Stones, you can get all your points back and rebuild it. You want to make sure that you are able to have 1 in each of these, which you will get automatically. Everybody gets the first one unlocked. And then Gemini and Sagittarius, you want to be able to get to this +3 mark. Okay, the 70% evasion Sagittarius and the range is unaffected by cooldown on Gemini. If you do not have these at 3 and 3, it'll be incredibly difficult. I'm not going to say impossible. Through gear, anything is possible, but it'll become like an order of magnitude more difficult. And once you've got this set up, you will be able to do Nightmare easily with these teams. Let's start with MAGNAR, because MAGNAR is really the easiest. And for MAGNAR, all you need is a Fene. This is how I have my Fene built. I've got her on Victorious Flag, and I build her just giga damage. Destruction and pen set, as much, you know, a good chunk of health and a good chunk of crit damage just to be able to burst through it quickly. 100% crit chance is unnecessary. She only needs 85 because remember, you have elemental advantage, but that's all you need. And then you want 3 friends who are there to die and give her an imprint. So first is going to be Ragnarvalder. So on Ronvald, you want nothing, including an artifact. Just take it all off. And on Jenna, you want nothing. Just take it all off. They're legitimately just here for the imprint and to satisfy the need of having 4 light heroes. Okay? So they could even be level 5. They're there to die. And then you want a Soul Weaver up front. Aether works best for this. Aether, his build is exceedingly complex. For Aether, he wants nothing and no artifact either. You just take all this crap off. All 3 of them are just there for the imprint and to die. Make sure if you do not have a constellation pet, you go and get one. This constellation pet was obtainable from an event that they did at the release of Constellation. It's no longer available, but you can go and farm for one in the pet house. The most important pet skill to get is the additional piece of equipment. The whole reason you're doing this is for gear, right? After this, the next best one would be the one that I don't have here, the one that gives you additional points for filling out your constellation tree. And then charms and heroes doing extra damage is also very, very nice. But really just focus the gear. The gear is the important one. Get the gear. All right, guys. You ready for this one? The strategy on this one's a little bit rough. You've got to click start. You've got to wait for the boss to attack. And if the boss gets burns on the top and the bottom unit, okay, if these 2 get a burn on them, you're good to go. If they don't get burns on them, restart. And then you press auto. You leave their skills off. They should die from the burns. Pop, pop, pop. And now we're rolling on. That's it, guys. Just sit back and enjoy the show. Now, at the 60% mark, you might take a death, but that's okay. There's my death. I come back to life. It was expected. That happens at the 60% mark. Now, for those of you who's saying, what if I don't have Fene? Well, maybe I'll do a video on how to do this without Fene, but it ain't going to be auto. Fene was made for this, and there were selector tickets, guys. If you guys don't have Fene by now, that's crazy. If you're coming in late after it, try to get a Fene banner going and get it started, because she is the goddess of PvE, and she is so good on all this. And there you go, guys. Nightmare done. With only 1 constellation filled out. That really impacts her. How do we do? It's got potential. It's got potential. We'll roll all this gear later. Okay, confirm. Now, I could use the points that I just earned, making my constellation stronger, making the fight easier, but I don't want to. I want to just stick with what I got right now, because if you are just starting out for your first time, you want to save all of those points so that you can do Sagittarius and Gemini, so you can build them up. That's where you put your points to get 3 and 3. To be honest with you, Sag and Gemini is probably the 2 you're going to max out first. And then you can come in and work on these. And once you get these all mostly maxed out, say by, I don't know, December, January range, you'll be able to do Perdition a whole lot easier. People that are struggling with Perdition right now, saying, F this content, it's too hard. You're not meant to do Perdition yet. You're meant to fill out this crappy little roguelike, and then it gets easier. Look at some of these things here. Decreases her attack by 50%. Reduces the effect of combat readiness, decreases by 50%. Extra damage, things don't get reset, you get extra attacks. It's so much easier to do Perdition when you fill all of this out. So you will eventually fill this out, and then you'll eventually just glide right through Perdition. You don't have to do it day 1. That's why we're sticking with Nightmare. Okay, so we just did fire. We're going to skip water for now and go over to earth. Earth is the next easy one. So this is your team for earth. Why is Sid there? Who invited Sid to this party? Sid. No cap. I have no idea how he got there. Anybody? Sid saw 3 ladies and went, I'm going to goon over here now. Get the hell off my team, Sid. So the way to do this on Nightmare is just 3 Soul Weavers and a DPS. This is literally all it is, guys. This is all this is. I'm going to put Tam in the front because she's partially blocking Hazel's legs and we can't have any of that. So here's your builds. First, Tamarin. This Tamarin is overgeared and overkitted, okay? You only need 100 ER. She doesn't really need any effectiveness for this. So really it's just about giving her a little bit of bulk and a little bit of speed. I put her on Magahara's Tome to help cycle her. You can run her on Prophetic Candlestick, but I think Tome is definitely Tamarin's best in slot artifact. And it's pretty free to play. Everybody's got some Tomes laying around. So that's your Tamarin build. Very, very simple. Next will be Fire Acades. Fire Acades, you want to have 200 ER if possible, ideally. And the reason for that is the ads can silence you, and the ads do have 100 effectiveness, so you need to have 200 ER to stop their silences because you don't want one of your principal healers being silenced. They will only really target her, so she's the only one that cares about the ER. So 200 ER on Acades. Remember, you can do things like Shamadra's Staff on one of your other healers. You could put Bastion of Hope on her. Whatever it takes to get the effect resistance up to 200 makes this so much safer. You can do it without the effect resistance, but adds a little bit of RNG to it. I've got her on her #1 exclusive equipment. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter really. I guess if you want to min-max this, you could put her on her #2 exclusive equipment, or you could put her on the #3 to get the 50% ER boost from her S3, but you're going to kind of need to do it on manual to make sure you can maintain this. That's right, we're doing this one on auto, guys. So other than the 200 ER and 200 plus speed, just some bulk to keep her alive. Third Weaver on the team is a Mascot Hazel. Mascot Hazel needs nothing. She needs nothing. She needs enough bulk to stay alive. Her healing does scale off attack, so you can give her a little more attack if you want, but just some bulk and make her fast. This is too fast. 200, 210, somewhere in there. That would work fine. I'm just giving her Warhorn to boost damage. That's it. She doesn't really need much, guys. You can put her on an ER boosting artifact as well. And Miss Carrot. Carrot, my Carrot is glass, so I put her on proof. If your Carrot is not glass, you don't need proof. You can go with a better artifact. But remember, everything about Carrot is burns, so you don't really need any other artifact on her. So proof is a good one to help keep her alive. So we need 100 effectiveness. -10, we need 90 effectiveness. -10 from Mascot Hazel, we need 80 effectiveness. -5 from Carrot, we need 75 effectiveness. That is your threshold. 75 effectiveness. My Carrot is chilling out here with 80 effectiveness. We are good to go. 75 effectiveness, and remember, Constellation's set up so that it ignores ER, ignores 15%, as long as you have these constellations filled out. Remember, I told you it's important to get these constellations filled out here. This boosts our attack. That's nice. Maximum applicable effectiveness chance of fire elementals increased from 85 to 100. What this means is they're getting rid of 15%. As long as you match your opponent's effectiveness, there is no more RNG. If your debuff is 100% chance to stick, it will stick. That's it, guys. Make sure you got your constellation pets set up. Let's go. Okay, guys. So this one is even trickier than the last one. For this one, you just have to press auto and watch. That's the strategy, guys. That's the strategy. You just got to press auto and watch. Got all the burns because we're guaranteed to. Pop, pop, pop. Now I tried this with Robin in place of Carrot. It didn't work on full auto. It got really close. I think if I manualed it, I could pull it off. But everybody's got Carrot, not everybody's got Robin. Everybody's got Mascot Hazel, and if you don't have Mascot Hazel, go get Mascot Hazel. Her specialty change takes like 15 minutes. It's not a big deal. Just go do it. People are like, well, what's a replacement for Mascot Hazel? Like, come on. Come on. Really? Really? Acades is probably the only one that might not be accessible to a lot of people, and most people have Acades. If you don't, I don't know, you're kind of running out of Fire Soul Weavers. Kazuna AI, maybe? I don't know. Just, this is pretty freaking free to play, guys. Tamarin, free unit. Carrot, 3-star. Mascot Hazel, 3-star. Acades. Play for 3 months and you'll have like a dozen of her. Go away. Can use Bihu in place of Carrot. I have not tried. Carrot, the reason Carrot works so good is eventually she takes a buttload of damage and would die from the pop damage, but she procs a barrier and it keeps her alive. So you could try it. I just know, like, my Robin like got to the very like 1 HP left on HERAIS and I still died from the pop damage. So it's just I don't know why would you use Bihu when you've got Carrot? Why would you use Robin when you've got Carrot? You move the gear onto them, you put the good gear onto them, and then once you're done the fight, you use the reversion system and put the gear back where it came from. Yeah, I'm not gonna give alternates to the units on this team because the alternates to this team just feel dumb. Dumb. Why are you being dumb? Stop being dumb. Just put the gear on Carrot, on Hazel, and then when you're done with, you go back into the reset thing and put it all back. I don't have Acades built. Built Acades. You're going to use her every single month. She's a 4-star. She needs no Molagora. It ain't that hard. I mean, really, you should Mola for the skill cooldowns, but the other stuff, who cares? Yeah, she legit takes 3 Molagoras. Pop.
Please hurry. It's urgent. Listen. Do my songs and
Shine free. Ow. See that big old barrier on Carrot there? So nice. Ta-da! There you go, guys. Nightmare done. Full auto. This has potential. We'll roll that later. Okay, guys. If that is your second fight, I once again recommend that you work on your Gemini tree and your Sagittarius tree. Everything else can remain at 1 star for now. I'm sorry. I'm really, really sorry. There is no super free-to-play team for this. I'll give you some alternatives to what's shown, but this one takes 5 stars, and currently, there's no way around it. We've tried free-to-play options. We've tried using Armin with her counters, and we even tried using Ainz, not Ulgon, Green Ainz, the thief guy. Yeah, we tried using him because he has a 50% chance to counter, and they do great with all their counters, but they don't bring the damage. It's got to be these guys. Now, I did make it a little bit more free-to-play friendly, right? In a perfect world, you would want to run Child Senya, Young Senya, in place of Bernard. You run Young Senya here, it's even cleaner, but Young Senya is a limited unit, and we're trying to get away from that. So we're just going to run Bernard. Ray would also work, but I just like Bernard better than Ray. I put him on Shamadra's staff. He doesn't need it, but hey, the extra healing and effect resistance is really, really nice. Build him kind of fast, a little bit of tanky. There's not a lot of stat requirements to Bernard or Ray or Young Senya. In a perfect world, put them on counter sets. If you really want to make this super easy and min-max, put everybody that you can on counter sets with the exception of Charles and Ervalin, because counter is what helps reduce the constellation. You don't need it. You don't need to tear your units apart for this one. Next, we're going to run Rowana, and there really isn't a replacement for her. I hope you guys have picked up your Rowana from your selector tickets, or go ahead and get Rowana. She's at the top of almost every tier list I do for PvE, and there's always some numbnut out there who's like, no, Rowana, people recommending Rowana to new players are just wrong and bad. And dude, not only does she have more thigh meat than a bucket of KFC, she is perfect for this. She's a must build unit. She doesn't need the Molagora. If you're going to spend some Molagora on her, pump it into the S2. But you know, she doesn't even really need the Molagora. She's a easy, cheap build. I've got her on Stella Harpa. Wondrous Potion Vial works just as well. The protection set, completely optional. I thought this would be a good idea for when I take her into Seaside Bologna as an RTA. It's been fun. She doesn't really need the effect resistance. She just needs bulk. She literally needs 6 pieces of gear and to exist. That's it. Pretty easy to build. Now we have our counter units, and there are 3 that are epic for this, okay? One is Charles, and he is damn near required. And if you don't have Charles, you can try this with the other one. But Charles is so goddamn good here. It is crazy how good Charles is here. So Charles, just build him on damage, and more damage, right? I've got him at 350 crit damage. 100% crit chance, which he doesn't need. Remember, we're fighting into opposite element. He only needs 85% crit chance. So I'm overstated on my crit. In fact, I could spread this around a little bit, but everybody's crit chance is fine. You want him on his number 3. Wait, is that right? Yes, you want him on his number 3 exclusive equipment. It just makes sure he's going to be able to do his thing. Okay? And for an artifact, just give him a damage artifact. Remember, Daydream Joker only works on HERAIS. Don't use Daydream Joker anywhere else. So, Our Beautiful Seasons, if you don't, any damage artifact, Wings of Light and Shadow, Exorcist Tonfa, whatever it takes to get some damage on the board. And that's it. Pen set's optional, but it certainly makes things a little bit easier because Charles hits pretty darn hard. Next is Ervalin, everybody's favorite, Ervalin. Who doesn't love Ervalin, right? I know, it's Ervalin. Build him the exact same as Charles. 85% crit chance is all you need, the rest into damage, just like Charles. Let's give Ervalin here an artifact, guys. Boosting artifact. Hey, well, we'll just give him Symbol of Unity, right? It's just temporary. Now, if you would work in place of Charles, abso-freaking-lutely not. Now, if you don't have Charles or Ervalin, your next best bet to slot in is going to be Violet. Violet, you should be able to substitute for either of these. Violet can definitely be substituted for Ervalin. You might be able to substitute him in place of Charles. If you do this, I highly recommend counter sets on both Rowana and on Bernard. You're going to need extra counters. Okay? But those are kind of your 3. Ervalin, Violet. You could try to replace with other units that counter, like Green Armin, right? Like, of all things, Ains. Okay? Put counter sets on everyone. Without Charles, you're going to be starved for counters. But you're going to need the damage of Ervalin or the damage of Violet to pull this off if you get rid of Charles. You're going to need the damage of Ervalin or Charles if you're going to get rid of You need one of the big three. You need one of the big three to draw in some damage. Trust. You could try, yeah, you could try Green Senya. Green Senya is another good one for constant spamming of counters. But you still need somebody to do the damage, or you're just going to die at the end because you don't bring enough damage to kill it. And if that happens, that happens. You know what? You don't do Nightmare. You do Hell. And with Hell, you can do it with pretty much all the 3-star units. And you get the points, and you move on with life. And then eventually you pull Charles, or you pull Ervalin, or you pull Violet, and now you've got a principal DPS you can slot on your team, and you can do this, and then you can slide up to Nightmare. I know nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants to hear we'll just do the easy mode. But it's either that or just don't get any rewards at all. And once you fill out the blessing and make your Earth heroes stronger, lots stronger, then suddenly those free-to-play options are easy, and you don't need Charles anymore. You don't need Ervalin anymore. You're able to do this because this tree is filled out, and you're doing metric fuck tons of damage. Can you dig? Right? This makes up for the fact that you are missing key heroes. So hopefully that helps alleviate a little bit of that ennui. But for right now, that's it. Let's go get this fight done. Make sure you got your constellation pet. Okay, guys, no auto on this one because this one requires soul burns, and the game does not let us soul burn on auto. So this is the first one we got to do on non-auto. So the mechanics of this one is you see the moon phase. Every time you soul burn, the moon phase goes down a little bit. No, I'm sorry. Every time you count. Ugh. So you see this moon phase. Every time you counter, the moon phase goes down a little bit. That's why I said if you don't have Charles or Ervalin, make sure you got counter sets on everybody for more counters. And now we just got to nuke her all the way down. So you want to save your souls so you can soul burn Charles. That's the general rule of thumb. You always soul burn Charles's S3. You never use his S3 unless you have a soul burn. I'm going to S3 here just to put immunity on everybody. And it's tempting, but don't do it. Don't S3. Just going to S1 here. Hey, we got an extra hit. There's RNG on that extra hit. I'm going to S3 here. Again, this is just for the souls. And now I'm going to use my S3 because it gives him a counterattack buff. It makes him so good in this. So we're going to S3. So we're going to S3. There we go. So now we got a counter buff, and we got the immunity so it can't be stripped. Counter. Notice when he counters, this goes down. So we're just going to S1 here. Now with counter, we go from 40% down to 20%. We're going to soul burn the S3. Always soul burn it. Reduces the skill cooldown by 2. That's why this has to be soul burned. This will give Charles a counterattack buff. So you S3 to get the counterattack buff, and you soul burn so it comes back quickly. Makes this so easy now that we've got a counterattack buff on 2 units. He's never going to have his souls up. Now, if you're getting rid of Ervalin and you're running Green Violet, or getting rid of Charles and running another counter unit, it will still work. But you might have trouble with this moon phase. You might not, one of them alone might not be enough to keep this under control. So you might want to consider putting counter sets on your Soul Weavers just so that they can chip in 30% of the time and help out with the counters. That's one here. Now watch this. Down to 10% from the counter. Extra hit from Charles. This extra hit's what makes Charles so damn good. So much damage. And boom. Look at that. We zeroed it out. And whenever you zero it out, you get a cool buff. Now the boss is slower, and that makes it easier to complete before we run out of turns. We've got 6 turns left to finish this off. The biggest issue people run into not running these units is they don't do enough damage. And that's where the constellation tree helps out, because a lot of those constellation trees are extra damage. I do not want to burn here, even though it's extra damage. I gotta save my burns for Charles, so I'm just going to S2. S3 for souls, keep the immunity up. Charles does not have his S3 ready, so we're just going to S1 into the extra attack. So a lot could be accomplished with overgearing, but eventually that constellation tree is going to make you so much stronger. You're going to be able to do this with weaker units with lower end gear. So like I said, if you're struggling with this phase or you're missing the units for this phase, just do Hell. And by next month, maybe the month after, you will have enough of your tree filled out that Nightmare and even Perdition will be in your reach. It's a 6-month long rotation on these things. You don't have to do Perdition or even Nightmare the first couple months. Again, S3, we're going to soul burn it so that we can cycle that skill around quickly. There is a world where you could maybe put Prophetic Candlestick on Charles, but I think you don't want to lose the damage. It's so nice having him on that extra damage. S2 for some big damage. Okay, we passed the phase, the 60% phase, and now AQUINA's here. All AQUINA does is bring an extra attacker in, and that's why Rowanna's so good. That extra attack keeps us healthy. We're going to S3, get that counterattack buff back up on Evelyn. I know people are like, Evelyn, I don't want to build Evelyn. It's what Grace of Growth is for, guys. You do this once a month. You don't build Evelyn. You slap his ass on Grace of Growth. You take your unit off Grace of Growth. You wait 3 days. You put Evelyn in there. You do constellations. You reverse the process. Lather, rinse, repeat. Eventually, you probably want to build him because he's really good for this. And this is repeatable content for the next 5 months. But if none of that works out for you, just do Green Violet. Green Violet works great. The only issue with Green Violet is, you got to pay a little bit of attention to his skill rotation to make sure he keeps his counters, his ability to counter up full time. Evelyn's a little bit more just push buttons. Here's the extra attack. Watch how it heals the team. Hit here. Soul burn. Always soul burn the S3. We're getting ready to cross our second break phase. Actually, I think we already did. Did we? Did we cross the second break phase, or are we about to? I guess we already did and I missed it. See, we've still got 4 turns left. Again, we got the moon phases totally eclipsed, so we get the slow debuff. I was just asked, is this lineup Perdition viable? Yes, although with young Senya, it's much easier. You may even want to consider running a command model Leica, but yeah, this is my Perdition team, just without young Senya. You used the plus 15 ticket on Evelyn? Good on you. Poor little guy, doesn't get enough love. His mom didn't hug him enough, guys. That's why he's a Prince Joffrey level asshole. It's not his fault.
You might not like this. This is just the beginning.
Would a Bloodstone Fenris work over Bernard? That's a really interesting idea. I'll have to try it. I'm not sure the answer to that, but I like your I'm just gonna burn this because I got souls to spare. I like you thinking outside of the box. Give it a try and let me know. That's a cool idea. Okay, guys, it is just that easy. We're nowhere near in danger. We had 3 turns left, which lets you know that we could have lowered our damage significantly and still cleared because we had 3 turns left. So maybe you can get away with dropping one of these 2 units and putting a counterattack unit in and then overgearing the damage, running counter set on these 2 and pulling it off. Maybe Senya works in place of Charles. I haven't tried it yet. I just know that Charles was buffed for this fight. His kit is more built around this fight than Zealot Carmen Rose was built around Light Expedition. So Charles is really good here. Ooh, aw. Oh well. Okay, guys, that is our 3 elementals, and once you have done all 3 of the RGBs, you should have enough points to have unlocked a couple of spots. Now, you can either unlock one of these, it's twice the cost, or you can unlock 2 of these. It's the same effect, but here you need 1 insanely geared unit. Here you need 2 insanely geared units. I'm not sure which is better, to be honest with you, but you need these guys to be geared well enough to get you to this 3rd one. increase evasion and speed of the knight hero in the front row by 70%. Or for Gemini, ranger heroes become unaffected by cooldown, increase effects. Those are the important ones. And it's not the easiest thing in the world to get. You're literally going to go into the units and you're going to click manage equipment and you're going to sort by equipment score, and look what's on here. 106 gear score, 105 gear score, 107 gear score. It's like nothing matches, right? There's no sets cobbled together. It's just my best gear score gear. The average gear score on this unit is ridiculous. If she was awakened, I would get even more points, right? And a plus 30 artifact. Now, check it out, right? I put her in 2646. To all the people that said awakening doesn't matter, allow me to waste a resource. $26.66. It gave me 20 extra points from that one awakening. Doesn't matter that she's a 3-star, 4-star unit, 5-star unit, as long as she is 6-star, max awakened with a plus 30 artifact, and it can be any plus 30 artifact. It could be a plus 30 potion vial. That counts the same as a plus 30 Alexa's basket, right? Make sure it's a plus 30 artifact, make sure it's 6-star, max awakened, and it's got your best damn gear score possible, even if it makes the unit look stupid. Even if it makes the unit's gear look like this. You do what it takes to get the really high gear score. And once you get the really high gear score, you should be able to get to this magic 2600 point, and that's important. If you can't get there, then you don't do Nightmare. You shift it down to Hell, and then you use the points and you unlock another spot. And when you unlock another spot, you put a unit in, and now you get there easily with 4 units, easily. So all it does, if you don't have the insane gear, all it does is slow you down 1 month. Not a huge deal. But anyway, once you got both these banged out at 3, you're ready to do light and dark. So I'm going to do the dark I'm going to do the light boss first. That's the dark team. First, we're going to run a whole bunch of free units. Okay, we're keeping this as clean and free as we can get it. We're going to run Shadow Knight Pillis, a 3-star specialty change. She is kind of a must. And you want her in the front spot. Remember, one of the constellation things that we bothered to unlock was for Pillis, to give her a shit ton of evasion. Pillis, you want to have her built with 100 effective. Well, she only needs 90. You need 100 because the boss has 100 ER. But remember, we get a plus 10% effectiveness from our constellation boost. So you only need 90 effectiveness. Build her fast, because it's good for her to cycle and take turns. She doesn't need to be this fast, maybe just north of 200, and give her a little bit of bulk. I put her on Arius, which, you know, helps, but the artifact doesn't really matter that much. Next, we're running Fat Cat. Everybody's got a Fat Cat, right? So if you don't have a Fat Cat, this is going to be a little trickier. You're going to have to pick another provoke unit. Fat Cat's nice because he gives evasion to everybody. I've got him on Guardian Ice Crystal for extra CR pushes. That's great. The protection set and immunity set's completely optional. Again, you need 90% effectiveness. Mine's at 101 because that's just the way his gear landed, but 90% effectiveness is all you need for this, and a little bit of bulk. If you don't have Fat Cat, run any unit, any dark unit that has a provoke on the S1, and your 4th unit can be Seska. That's right. For Nightmare, you don't need mono element on light and dark. You can do 3 darks and 1 other element. Okay, so as long as you've got a provoke unit, you could probably get away with Seska. But Fat Cat, too good for this. Too good for this. Next, I'm going to run All-Rounder Wanda, because she's free. You want to make this even faster, put Challenger Dominial in here, and this is so fast. Challenger Dominial makes this so good. You'll be done like that. but I'm just going to assume you guys maybe don't have CDOM, so I'm going to run all-rounder Wanda. Her entire job is to put target on people and put a Song of Stars on her. Everybody's got a plus 15 Song of Stars. That's plenty. It doesn't have to be plus 30. Relatively fast. Again, with she's actually a little short on her effectiveness. She should have 90 effectiveness, and you'll stick the debuff better. Am I right, or is there something in here where she gives herself a shit ton of effectiveness? Increases effectiveness by 12. Okay, hang on. She increases her effectiveness by 12. So technically, is that already built into the stat? I'm not sure if that's already built into the stat or not. I don't think it is. I don't think specialty changes reflect here. So she's actually technically at 78. Still, you should be at 90 if you want to min-max the chance to target. The whole point is to get the target debuff so that Commander Lorena can nuke. And you don't need the target debuff for Commander Lorena to nuke if your Lorena is built strong enough. I just wanted it because my Lorena's on a rage set and I needed a debuff to proc the rage set. You could run a destruction set Commander Lorena and that works great too. Just damage, more damage. Damage artifact, you could run Symbol of Unity on her. And like I said, this becomes an order of magnitude easier if you replace Wanda with a nuclear DPS unit. Remnant Violet is insane if you have him. Challenger Dominial is insane if you have her. Makes this so easy. If you don't have Commander Lorena, run Violet, Remnant Violet. You could even run an RGB nuke unit because you're allowed to take only 3 darks into Nightmare. So let's go into Nightmare, get this fight done. Remember to have your Constellation pet set up. Okay, so this one is a little complicated. You got to get the swing of it, but once you understand the mechanics, you're good to go. First things first, consider this Smilegate's soiree into DEI, right? You need to keep diversity on the team. You need to have a light and a dark statue. If they're both dark or both light, bad things happen. Now, when you hit them, see these skill nulls, when you hit them and you hit the last skill null, make it go away, it changes the element or changes the color. You also want to always have them controlled with provokes constantly, nonstop. You want them provoked. You want them light and dark. You do that, easy street. So I have got a 75% chance to provoke. I've got a 100% chance to provoke on the S3. I'm going to use this. I'm going to provoke this front one down here. You'll notice when I hit it, that skill no goes down a notch. Provoked. Hey, I got the target. Yay. There's no reason to hit anything else. There's nothing up here saying I can't hit the boss, so we'll just hit the boss. And let's go S1 the boss. Pop. Fat Cat has a 100% provoke on his S1. So what makes Fat Cat so damn good? As long as you mola it, make sure it's 100%. Otherwise, RNG. And we'll provoke this guy. There we go. Now they're both provoked. They're both black and white. We're in good shape. We can just go ahead and hit. Okay, notice they changed colors. So I've got to hit them twice to change one of their colors back. So I'm going to, and the boss gave itself 1,000% hit chance and greatly decreases damage. By greatly, I mean like 95%. You're not going to do any damage to the boss. Don't waste time hitting the boss unless you're just dumping a skill. We're going to S1 this bottom statue here. And we're going to S1 this bottom statue here. And there we go. Diversity restored. And the little SOBs cleanse themselves. Isn't that cute? But that's okay. We're gonna provoke this one. Nice. And we'll go and provoke this one. Nice. Okay, now we can go back to hitting the boss. There's nothing up here that says we can't. They're both provoked. They're opposite element. Everything's good. We'll just S1 up here. A little bit of damage. We'll get a little target debuff up. We'll hit some more damage. Fat Cat's gonna just hit for a little bit of damage. I know it feels like we're just chipping away at it, guys, but trust, you're gonna see some big damage here in just a minute. Okay, we lost diversity again, and the boss now has this BS. You do not ever want to miss when you hit the boss. So when this constellation effect is up, no touching the boss. Only touch the ads. So we'll smack down here and restore diversity. They're going to cleanse the provokes, giving evasion to everybody. Now we're blind. If I S1, I have a chance of missing, but the S3 cleanses. That's why Pillis is so good here. So we're going to S3 provoke this bottom one, cleansing all of the blinds. And still has this up so we don't hit the boss. So I'm going to check it. I'm going to turn this one light, a little planning ahead, and we'll turn this one light. Then we're going to provoke this one, and then we're going to hit this one and turn it dark. Looks like we got 2 hits, so I can afford to put, still got this up, so we can't hit the boss yet. I'm going to put 1 into here, and then I'm going to put 1 into here. There we go. The boss took a turn. Diversity was maintained. We're good. Okay, here we go, guys. The boss has got a crack of light. We're gonna work that crack, guys. Don't clip that. Okay, so let's see. Let's just S3 here. That's fine. That's fine. May as well just go ahead and get our provokes back on, so I'll provoke you. We got the target buff, so that's great. I'm just going to S3 for extra souls. It doesn't really do anything, but let's just do it for souls. Okay, you guys ready? Now that you've got target and the defense buff, it's Lorena's time to shine. We soul burn Lorena into all these debuffs. Look at this HP bar. Unfortunately, we crossed a threshold, so we lost the crack, but we can still get one more hit in, and we're below 50%. Easy peasy. You know, so we just got to do this one more time, and this is over. So let's go ahead and provoke this guy. I don't want to hit any of the statues. We'll lose diversity, so we'll just hit the boss. There's nothing up here that says we can't. In fact, I'll do an S3 just to generate some souls. Hit here. Okay, we got the stupid constellation buff back up, so we cannot hit the boss. We can't afford to miss. So we're going to S3. Oh, and by the way, if these statues are not provoked or the diversity isn't there, you're going to take hits from the boss. And every time the boss actually hits you, it reduces the "you're going to die" death sentence counter. It's like Einzulgun's death sentence. And that's why it's so important to do these controls, because if you don't, the boss hits, and if you get hit too many times and this goes to 0, you just die. There's no surviving. You just die. Okay, we're going to S3 to cleanse the blinds and maintain the provokes. I'll hit this guy here. We're going to try to get diversity restored. 1 for you. There we go. Still has the constellation buff, so we've got to ditch into these guys. So I'm going to put 1 into here, and I'm going to put 1 into here. They take turns. We get evasion buffs. Now we got to provoke them again, so we'll provoke this guy. And we hope we don't get 75%. Provoke this guy. Got it. Nice. If we got 75% there, we didn't provoke it, we would have just taken a hit on our essence of life. Shit happens. But look at that, guys. The constellation's gone, and we got another crack. So S1 here. S1 here. I don't know if my Lorena's S3 is back yet or not. I hope it is. Oh, nope, that's not her. Lorena, is your S3 ready? Nice. Nice. So you see what I mean, where if you didn't have all-rounder wander on the team, you just had challenger to menial. First of all, everybody's crit chance is a lot easier, makes the building of nuking Lorena even better. And then you can S3 Soulburn S1 and absolutely nuke the boss. If you had Remnant Violet here, you could save up your souls, wait for this to show up, and then just Soulburn your S1 over and over and over again. Makes it much, much easier if you have those units on the team. But it works with just Lorena and a bunch of other free units. And there you go. Now it's cleared, and you can use the points that you get from this to expand your constellations further. Hello, beautiful. That's really nice. Not a lot of use for lifesteal in the world right now, but that's a nice one. Can't wait to roll that. Okay, guys, we have one more Nightmare team, and that is RAHEL. Damn, she hits different, right? So this is my team for RAHEL, and this one has the most variety. This one is, I think, the easiest one to do that's not press auto on Fene. So for this one, you're going to need Infinite Horizon Acades. If you don't, actually you don't need her. If you don't have Infinite Horizon Acades, the substitution for her is Moon Bunny Dominial. Both work. Dominial puts things to sleep. Acades stuns things. They're the same. The second unit you're going to probably need is Watcher Shuri. If you don't have Watcher Shuri, Specimen Says is insane for this. In fact, Specimen Says is so damn good, I would probably take him over Watcher. But Watcher makes this pretty damn easy as well, and he's free. Well, he's not free, but he's one unit almost everybody has. Third unit is General Purgus. General Purgus is crazy good here. If you don't have General Purgus, that's okay. You can technically do this. For real. Put any other freaking light unit in there, right? And just do this. It's harder and it takes better gear, so why not make it easier? Any unit that stuns can go into this last spot. The best unit for AoE stuns is going to be G-Purg. The last spot is a flex pick. Literally anybody can go in this last spot. If you want to make this so easy it's laughable, slap Dragon King Sharoon in there. She makes this a joke. But if you don't have Dragon King Sharoon, anybody that stuns, you can literally click your search bar, look at debuffs, select stun, and yeah, look at all your options for units that can stun. They are legion. But you know what? If you've got G-Purg, you don't even need stun. I'm just going to run Vivian because everybody has her. And she's a pretty good AoE damage dealer. And she gives everybody an attack buff. I just wanted to show you guys that you don't even need this fourth spot filled in by just putting someone free in there. But for the love of God, if you've got Dragon King Shroom, put her in there. Makes this so easy. So easy. Let me show you guys the stats. Here is how you have Infinite Horizon Acades built. She is one of the fastest units on the team. You want her to be in the front. You want your fastest light unit to be in the front. Soul Constellation for CR pushing. I got her on her number 2 artifact or exclusive, which is really good to help move people around. You need them. I think it's her best in slot. Other than that, yeah, so you need 60 effectiveness to stick the stuns, because I'm pretty sure the ads have the same effectiveness as the boss, or effect resistance as the boss. So I think you only need 60. So this is overkill. This is overkill. A little bit of bulk to stay alive. G-Purg. Again, you need 60 effectiveness because Dark has 70 ER and you get 10 from that one constellation. So we only need 60 effectiveness. Artifact doesn't matter. Protection set doesn't matter. Bulk doesn't really matter. All he needs is the effectiveness and, you know, to have a little bit of speed. Don't make him base. Next is Vivian. She's just here to pretty up the place. She doesn't need anything. She's just here to look good. My normal farming Vivian. Don't care about these stats. You can literally run anybody. Run Dragon King Sharoon. Run Ambitious Tywin. Run Silverblade Aramentha. Run freaking Ainzul Gon. Whoever you want to put in this last spot. It's up to you. Vivian's nice because she generates souls like crazy, but you're going to get to a point where you don't even need soul generation. Watcher Shuri is the best in the slot. You must have somebody that has 100% penetration on their S3. Anybody that's got 100% pen should work. But anyway, Watcher Shuri, 100% penetration skill is necessary. If you don't have Watcher Shuri, but you have Specimen Says, do that. If you have Specimen Says, drop Vivian and get Spez on the team. He is insane here. EE doesn't really matter. Artifact doesn't really matter. This artifact does nothing. This artifact does nothing at all. That's how unimportant the artifact is. I was just too lazy to change it. The torrent set does nothing. This much damage does nothing. It's all overstated. In fact, I could run this guy and do just as well. He would actually do better. But anyway, we're going to run this torrented guy. And that's it. That's the whole team. This is very, very low gear requirements. And this one is so easy. I'm telling you guys, so easy. Make sure you have your Constellation Pent equipped, turn auto off. Now, this one is kind of a reverse of the other one. This one, we need to kill the ads, and by killing the ads, we do damage to RAHEL. It is almost impossible to do any appreciable damage to RAHEL other than she takes insane damage when her babies die. So, want to have enough souls to soul burn my G-Perg. You can see he is number 3 in line. I got plenty of room for souls, so I'm going to I'm just going to S1 one of these guys. And then I'm going to S3, and that should give me enough souls. G-Perg soul burn is only 10 souls. Now, every time you soul burn, it lowers the moon's phases. So we're going to soul burn G-Perg here. Not so much for the moon, but because when you soul burn it, it's a 2 skill cooldown decrease. Now, you will get a fresh batch of souls every time Achates takes a turn from this glow lamp effect. That's why it is so important to have her in the front where she's taking extra turns so she gets extra souls. When you finish filling out this constellation, everybody gets glow lamp, and it's you'll have more souls than you know what to do with. But anyway, we're going to soul burn this. 100% chance to stun. Everybody gets stunned, and when these guys are stunned, they are fragile. Check it out. Now watch the damage the boss takes from them dying. Bam! And see, she only took 18k from that actual direct hit. You do almost no damage to direct hits. So it's going to S1 here. S1 here. This moon phase is not too scary, but hey, it's only 10 souls, so I'm just going to burn the S2 just to drop the moon phase down to 10%. G-Perg can S1. I want to make sure that G-Perg goes next, so I'm going to S2 and push G-Perg up in front of my Shuri. And now my G-Perg can soul burn and stun these baddies again. See how easy this is? See how easy this is? Shuri's got an S2. That's AoE. Watch this. When they're stunned, they die to a sneeze. Okay, we're on to phase 2, guys. Now, you take all of these debuffs. This is where if you had Dragon King Shroon on the team, she would cleanse all of the sleeps immediately, and you wouldn't need to do this. But if you have Moon Bunny or Achates and you saved the S3, I hope you saved the S3, you can cleanse all those debuffs and turn them into buffs. That's why you do not use your Achates S3 early on. You need it to get past that darkness phase. Or that sweet dreams phase. Which, by the way, guys, if you max out the tree, it turns that off and you never have to deal with the sleep. But maxing out the tree is not easy, so that's why we're only doing it with a +3 on the tree. Okay, 50% up here is a little spooky, so let's try to get that down before we get hit, before she takes a turn. So I'm going to soul burn. Only 10 souls on her soul burn. Attempted, but no. We're just going to S1. And we'll soul burn on Vivian. That'll get us down to 10% on the moon phase. And then this will hit like a wet noodle. And she brings back the baddies. Okay, now something's different. Something's changed. Look at this. This guy has got 5 of these weird guys with the crossed hands. This means he takes insane damage mitigation, guys. The only way to kill this guy is to hit him with an ignore defense, a penetration skill. Thus, watch your Shuri. So let's see. Let's check our stuff here. G-Perg is ready to stun. So I'm going to just raw S1 here. No reason to do anything else. Hey, we got lucky. We got the stun. The stun gets rid of the shield, but G-Perg's not going to kill here because he's got too many of these little, these sweet dream effects. So we're going to soul burn. This will get rid of the constellation. It'll give us stun on everybody. Now watch when Vivian does this, right? These guys that only have 3 of them, they will die horribly to just a basic hit. But this guy, you have to hit with a pen skill. So we're going to use Watcher Shuri's S3, and we want it to be up again for later, so we are going to soul burn it. That'll murder this guy, and that might just do enough damage to take out the other one too. Nope, but that's okay. I'm going to S2 and push up Vivian ahead of RAHEL there, and then Vivian can take care of this last one. May as well just soul burn it. Got that down to 0. We got the attack down, so barely does any damage. G-Perg's looking a little, or G-Perg, Vivian's looking a little rough for the wear. S1 here. Okay, guys, I am going to just S1. I want to save the S3, get rid of those sleeps, because that thing is coming up on the next hit, I believe. So I'm just going to burn this S1 to knock this down. S1 here. We're going to take some hits. Vivian is dead, but that's okay. We'll hit here. And I'm going to S2 my Watcher just to get some healing on him. S1 here. Here comes the S1 here. This is going to hit kind of hard because it's 50%. Ouch. Ouch. It's okay. We cleanse it. I do not know if fear works. We're sober. Oh, shit. You know what's great is soul burning the skill when you're not supposed to, and now it's on cooldown. It's okay. We'll just cycle his ass around. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine, guys. It's fine. Just do the S1 there. The S1 here. It's fine. See? It's all fine. Okay. We'll burn this. I don't really need to burn this because Perg is ready. Okay, check it out, right? I'm going to burn this on one of the guys that doesn't have a gold shield. And that way when I burn Pergus, maybe he kills this front one. Ah, I left it with a sliver of health. Damn it. That's okay. This guy's got the multi, so he's the one that we need to do the penetration skill on. So I'm going to S3 him. And you can just S1 this guy. Nice, 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 nice. G-Perg can S1 this one. Pow, pow. He's dead. Easy game, guys. I don't know why you guys were worried. I didn't misclick. That was for content. Content, damn it. G-Perg's ready. Watcher's ready. Everybody's in good shape. I'm just going to burn to get the constellation, or get the moon phase down a little bit. And we're just going to S1 here. I'm going to S2 my Watcher just because he's looking a little bit unhealthy. Get his ass a barrier. We're not going to burn the S3. We're just going to S1. And S1. Ouch. And there we go. And our S3 is ready. We cleanse and heal. Easy game, guys. Easy game. Got an S1 here. If Vivian was here to soul burn, it'd be a little easier to control this. We would have the attack buff or attack break up a little more often. But remember, I said you can do this literally with just Moon Bunny Dominial and Watcher Shuri. You don't need Perg, you don't need Vivian. They just make it easier, faster, and ease up a bit on the gear requirements. But you can literally two-man this if you are an absolute mad lad. I'm soul burning there to get this down to 10 to make sure we don't die. Brings back the people. Guys, we have one turn left. One turn before the final blow will be delivered. So we've got to get this done. So again, I'm going to soul burn. I'm going to hit one of these back row guys. Maybe Perg will crit and kill it. We're going to soul burn Perg, getting the AoE. Nice. And then Watcher is going to soul burn S3. Soul burn takes this all the way down, kills this. Pop. You know, it was enough damage. It's all it took. We only needed to kill one to drop RAHEL, and the fight's over, guys. This is the easiest one, but at the same time, the most technical. Why is it the easiest one? You only need 2 units. The other units just make it easier or faster. Load up your stunners, load up your AoE units, make sure you got a penetration unit, super clean and easy. And that was on Nightmare with only 3 constellations filled out. And there you go, guys. 1 1 1 1 3 3 all constellations done. And even if you're just starting, you should be able to get 3 and 3 with all this done. If you effed up and if you start out and you've got like a maxed out Libra and no stuff left, that's okay. It's only 100 Skystones. Reset it, build your tree just like this, and you're good. And to make it a little bit easier in the future, go in and start stacking up whichever one gave you the most difficulty, whichever one you went, I could only do this on Hell, I couldn't do this on Nightmare. Focus on that one. If you couldn't do the Fire one, start stacking stuff into the Fire constellation. If you struggled with the Earth one, if you struggle with the Earth one, start stacking things to the Earth one. If they are all relatively easy, Leo impacts everybody, makes everything easier. I'm a big fan of Leo. If you're able to do everything pretty well, this just makes everything objectively easier. And of course, light and dark get insanely easy when you max these out as well. And that's the way this is designed to work. If you can't do Nightmare, do Hell. Get the stuff, build the trees. Next month, do Nightmare. Then sometime between now and February, bang Perdition out. Hopefully this helps you guys out, gives you some ideas, some ways to do this as free to play as possible, except for water, because I guess screw us, but hopefully we get some better options for water down the road. Okay, one last thing I want to talk to you guys about before we just can Constellation for the rest of the month, unless I come up with a neat team, is the shop. Okay? Everybody's tempted to go for the gear. Everybody's tempted to go for the gear. Almost universally, the gear rolls like crap. Now, it could roll really good. Those of you got really awesome pieces that are going to be in my comment section, be all like, I got a 24 speed sword out of this. I don't know, the gear rolled pretty damn good. 106 gear score helmet. Great. I am happy for you. But I bought every single piece, and I wound up with 2 usable pieces. And some of them I even just foddered for trash. If a piece here suits you, that's great. But look at this. I got 1,250 currency. I can afford to buy 2 of these pieces of gear. That's it, and I'm done for the month. Or I can buy for 150 currency 10 charms, and then tomorrow I can buy them again, and then I can buy them again. 1250. Anybody good with math? 1250 divided by 150 times 10. 83 right side charms. 83 right side charms. It's non-stop. And if you need left side charms, you can buy some of these too. If you're starved for Molagora, you're under 90 Molagora, you can buy these every single day. I think the charm with the new gear coming, with the otherworldly gear coming, and the otherworldly hunts and farms coming, and the insane gear we'll get out of that, sure, this gear is great. The gear score is really nice. It's level 88 gear, which is not as good as level 90 gear, which is not as good as otherworldly gear. Sure, it's max rolled, and you know, you get the stats that you're looking at, and this could be some of your best gear, sure. But is it worth getting 2 pieces of gear, or is it worth getting 3 mola and 10 charms every single day for like a couple of weeks? I'm telling you guys, I don't know about you, but my roadblock right now isn't gear. It's charms to level gear. It's mola to level up the units. So I strongly encourage everyone out there that says, I am in trouble for charms. Where do I get right side charms? How do I get more Molagora? To consider this and to look at this and think, this is the biggest damn bait to ever walk the earth. This is going to, it takes so much, and you know, you can buy it once a month. And like I said, if you got some great gear out of this, I am happy for you. But this stuff resets every single day and is so important. These are the 3 resources people complain about the most, especially now that we have unequip and gold is not as big of an issue. These are the 3 resources people complain about the most. You've got plenty of ways. The ways to get gear in this game are legion. The ways to get these are few and far between. So really consider this. I ain't telling you how to spend your resources. You do you. You go get that 106 gear score helmet that surely is not going to roll 3 times into health and 2 times into attack. Me, I'm getting the charms. If you have any questions, ask them in the comment section. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and you guys have a great rest of your week. Woo!